Welcome back to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving, right smack dab in the midst of it, in the hopes that something that we share with you will help you, enlighten you, and encourage you as you transition your family from struggling to survive disease to thriving, right smack dab in the midst of it. Well, everybody has different situations, right? Your home life has is a different situation for everyone, right? There are, some people have kids in their home, some people don't. Some people have a spouse in their home, some people don't. Some people are living with their parents. Everybody's situation is different. But when you're dealing with chronic illness and disease, it is so important that you have a support system. Now, my support system is my husband and my children. They take good care of me. And I'm able to do the things that I'm able to do because I have people in my family that are doing things for me to enable me to do the things that I need to do. And then there's times when I'm not able to do for myself and I have people who are taking care of me. But in turn, you guys, I do a lot for my family as well. So in my household, everyone has a vital role. Everyone has their part to play to make this ship run smoothly. And I'm pretty sure it's like that in your house too. In order for you to do what you do, in order for your household to run, you have caretakers, you have care providers, you have a family, you have someone somewhere that is part of your circle that's helping you to keep your ship afloat, right? So this video is for everybody that's on that ship that's helping it to keep afloat. For the caregivers, for the family members, and for the one who's going through as well. We have a lot on our plate. There's a lot that we carry on a daily basis. And sometimes we're aware of the pressure, we're aware of the weight, we're aware of the things that we do, but we're not always cognizant of how much we uphold and we keep lifted up in a daily basis. Everybody on your ship has the same thing, right? So I know in my house, everybody plays a vital role. Everybody has their part to play. And when someone is out of position, right, the others kind of take on those roles and keep it afloat until they can come back and take their role and their place and their position in our family. It's kind of like that in your house too, probably, right? Well, let's talk about what happens, not so much when they leave, when someone's out of position, but when they come back into position. We can sometimes overlook this, but this is really important for the peace and for the continuity in your health and in your household, okay? Now, some of you might have already figured this out. Some of you might be aware of it unconsciously, right? Some of you may be living it and going through it and haven't figured it out yet, and some of you will go through it in the future. So let's talk about it. When a person is out of position, everybody takes on that weight. You do what you got to do to keep everything moving, right? But when a person comes back in position, it's not always as smooth as you would like it to be. And there's some things that we need to pay attention to when people come back into position. But before we get into those things that we need to pay attention to when people come back in position, I want to kind of help you figure out some of the reasons why a person would be out of position, right? Sometimes when you're the person who's going through the health issue, you may be in the hospital for a while. You may be out of it because you kind of got procedures done and you may have time to recover. And so you may not be able to do the things you might have once been able to do. Sometimes you're bedridden. Sometimes you may be traveling, right? Sometimes your caregivers may be out of position because of work, because of other things, because of life issues, or because they're traveling. I know in my home, sometimes my husband travel without us. Sometimes he travels with us. Sometimes I travel without my family. Sometimes I travel with them. Sometimes jobs, school, other activities, other things in life have different members of my family out of position, out of pocket for a while. Sometimes, you guys, we don't even consider this, but emotions. Sometimes we go through emotional issues. Sometimes we go through grief, a loss of a loved one. Sometimes there are just things going on the inside not just sickness, right? But things going on the inside of a person that can have them out of position mentally and emotionally for a while. Okay. So when we're talking about people being out of position, we're talking about people either not being present physically, mentally, or emotionally, unable to do the things that they normally do to keep your ship afloat. All right. So that might help you put it in perspective. Now, when people are out of position for a while, we carry on that weight. I know a lot of times when my husband's out of position and I gotta steer this ship all by myself, and it's pretty weighty, you guys. I can't wait until he come home. I'm like, hurry up and get home so you can take some of this, right? But the thing is when people get back in position, because we carry so much, you guys, and we don't even realize half the time how much we're juggling, how much we're carrying. Um, to have that thrown back on you can really jack a person up, right? When you're out of position and you have to step back in position, a lot of times, most of the times, it's not easy to just step back in and just hit the ground running, okay? Because a lot of the things we grew into, we've taken things off our plate, we put things on our plate, and we kind of grew into where we are right now. Okay, it's kind of like having kids, right? You have one baby, it's a little struggle. You do a little better with when you have the second one, the third one, you kind of got it down by pack, and some people stop there, but I kept on going, right? But if somebody would have dropped 5 kids, 5 babies on me at one time, yeah, I would have been a hot mess. There's no way that I would have been able to handle it. But I grew into 5 children. I had one, and then I had a second one, and then I had a third one, right? And so we've kind of learned how to adjust with every season because we gradually grew into it. Likewise, in your household, when you're dealing with health things, there's a lot that you're balancing, but you didn't get it all at once. You kind of grew into your routine, into your structure. So when someone steps out of it and they're away from it for a while, when they come back, we may want to just dump it all on them. Go ahead, take your place, take your position, right? But the thing about that is, it is so much. They actually have to have some time to step back into their place, add a little on at a time, to hit the ground running and to be able to juggle all that stuff. It can kind of shell shock a person. It could shake them to their core, and the pressure and the weight of it can be so heavy, and it's going to be hard for them to get their flow back, to get their groove back, because they got out of it for a while. Also, for the person who, say, if you've been in the hospital for a while, you've been bedridden for a while, you had a procedure, you're out of it because of that, or even if you've been traveling, when you step back in, your routine is thrown off, right? And so it takes a while to get back into a healthy place and a healthy state so that you can take on the things that you once was doing. So even if you're taking care of yourself when you're traveling, even if you've been in a hospital, there's going to be a recovery period that you need, because even while you're traveling, you're not doing the things that you normally would do at home, and you're doing a lot more in the day than you normally would do because you're out having a good time. You're going to have a time where you need to recover. So physically, maybe even mentally and emotionally, you're not even ready to take on the things that you used to take on. You need to recover. If you get out of the hospital, it doesn't mean that you're okay. There's a time of recovery that needs to take place. And as you're recovering, you may take on a little bit more, a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit more to ease back into your regular routine. But if you think that you're going to come home or get out of that bed if you're bedridden, come home from the hospital, come home from a vacation, whatever have you, or from a procedure, and just jump up and hit the ground running, physically you're not going to be able to. And also it's going to be a lot for you, because you're going to think, how in the world did I used to do all this thing? Because once you get built up into the things that you're doing, you got to flow, you got a groove going on, right? And you can handle multiple things at one time, but you grew into that. And when you leave and you go away from it for a while, it's going to be hard to get back on it. So what you need to be mindful of: give people space, give them time. Whether it's the person going through or someone else in that family, anybody in that support network, give them space and give them time to readjust. And then as they step into things, give them a little bit. at a time so they can readjust to balancing that out. Why is this important? Because it's going to keep the peace in your home. It's going to help you with your health, and it's going to keep your house running smoothly. Now, you remember when I told you that when my husband leaves, I'm like, hurry up and get back so you can take this stuff on? Well, even when he comes back, you guys, I still got to carry it a little longer. I still have to carry it a little longer so that he can build himself up and readjust to handling all the things that he used to handle. I'm trying to tell you, it's going to keep peace in your home. It's going to stop divorces. It's going to stop arguments. It's going to stop you from being mad at your kids and your kids being mad at you. And it's going to help you to have better understanding so that your family can continue to run smoothly. Okay? I hope something in there was helpful for you. Remember, in all things at all times, in every situation, no matter what it is, do you, be you, because that's how you're going to overcome and come through. Until next time, bye.